I guess like as a disclaimer before I began, the convention was one of the coolest things I've ever done, but a lot of the really like amazing stuff you can see on TV. So this is sort of like the side of a convention that you wouldn't see, I guess, unless you're like on the ground there. All over for the various groups that are happening, but something that was interesting about the Planned Parenthood rally is that it had been scheduled to happen at this one area by the NASCAR Hall of Fame, which is right next to the convention center. But there were protesters there. There were a lot of protesters, but these ones were mainly anti-abortion protesters. And so to stop Planned Parenthood from being able to use the site, they got into fights with each other. So the police would have to come and break them up so that they couldn't use the site. So like, it's a pretty ingenious tactic, but they did have to get in fights with each other. So the Planned Parenthood rally had to move like 5 blocks away. There's a guy at one point who's wearing like a boot on his head who came out with a bunch of people. Yeah, I learned
a
later.
Boot?
Yeah, like
Wait, is that Vermin Supreme?
Yeah,
yes.
Vermin Supreme. Yeah. And he had the sign that said teeth and ponies, and then like everybody else just like had signs that said absurd things, and basically just like protesting the political process. But I learned the guy with the boot on his head is named Vermin Supreme, and he is running for president. So, and all the different speakers would come. We had Governor Ted Strickland, we had Secretary of Education Arnie Duncan, former governor and presidential, candidate and head of the DNC Howard Dean. We had Craig Robinson, Michelle Obama's brother. So it's pretty cool because you're in a really small group of people and you get to hear these like amazing speeches. This is Representative Gabby Giffords, who came out to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would assume that most of you know who she is, but she's a representative from Arizona. You guys know the story about like the shooting and everything like that. So she came out, and that was pretty powerful because she suffered a lot of brain damage. So her speech was really halting, and her physical movements aren't like completely smooth, but she still came out and did it. This is John Kerry giving his speech, basically about foreign policy. This is like the little area where the first and second families were sitting during the third night. Otherwise, they were in like this box above Joe Biden giving his speech. Here's Obama. When Obama came out, I guess this is like one of the things that's the, I don't know, like weirdest and coolest part of the DNC is what we were just talking about, how it is so emotionally intense. So when Obama came out, I literally don't think there was a person around me who wasn't crying. And no matter like how you feel about Obama, there's definitely people all over like West Virginia, like most of their delegates don't like Obama very much, but they like get really into it. Just because you're surrounded by people who are really excited, there's so much emotion. I mean, it's almost palpable, like you feel really moved by it. Afterwards, I was lucky enough to go to an event with the Bidens. This was like sort of like the Bill Clinton thing I would have gone to, but he came out and spoke. It was like at the NASCAR museum, of course, because it was Joe Biden, and he was like super excited about the NASCAR bit of it. Let's see, yeah, so then we like had to push to meet him, and people get like really, really aggressive. Like I got like elbowed in the stomach and I like knocked somebody's hat off. I went up with this other girl, this is her, we were like really excited.
Photo bomb.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, I like met him, and then when we were taking the picture, like I kept talking and he was like smiling for the picture, and I like was so nervous I like didn't know what to do, so I just kept talking and he just kept not saying anything. And I was like, why aren't you responding? And it was like, we're taking a picture. So the Women's Caucus was really cool. They're just, I mean, like the speakers that they get are really amazing. I think I have a bunch of pictures. Cecile Richards, the head of Planned Parenthood. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, representative, and then chairwoman of the DNC. Valerie Jarrett, Obama, Nancy Keenan, who's the head of NARAL pro-choice, Kathleen Sebelius, who's Secretary of Health and Human Services. And so they all come out and speak about women's issues, but they also spoke about how like every issue basically in this election relates back to women and how powerful that is. So